till death do us part, well, this relationship sounds pretty dead to me. There's no being on the fence in parenthood. Like, you're either in or you're out. And once you're in, you can't get out. How will having another baby with another man affect my original child? Sorry, this is meant to be like a funny podcast.
Hi, welcome to another hour. Another hour.
Welcome back to the Nappy Hour, the place where you tell me all about your fucked up lives and I tell everyone, just like real friends. So open your ears and let me fill them full of shit. Advice. Question. Would you let someone else breastfeed your child? Just asking for a friend. I thought a lot more people would say yes than they did. I am personally in the camp of, yeah, I would let someone else breastfeed my child. But I asked people on my broadcast channel, let's have a little look at what people were saying, hey? The question was, would you let someone else breastfeed your child? The options were absolutely not. I'd let a friend, I'd let a family member, or I'd let either. Now, the vast majority of people said absolutely not, which really surprised me. Only a handful of people said that they would let a family member. Again, a handful of people said they'd let a friend. And then 5 people, I'm one of those 5, said that they would let either. Let's read the comments because a few people have replied. The reason I said absolutely not is because I know that when breastfeeding my first, I really felt was a special time for us to bond. I wouldn't have given that up for anything. But if resources and supply was low in the previous days in the village, they were common to have wet nurses. I guess it's a personal preference, but it also allows children to bond within the community. I'm not saying I'm going to latch my daughter onto my next door neighbour, but I am thinking within my community, my loved ones, my close family and friends, if I'm not in the room, then, and my baby really, really needs to be fed, I'm not here, not just in the room, I'm just upstairs having a shower, obviously let me know that my baby is hungry. But like, say if I have to go somewhere or my boobs just are not working, then absolutely latch my baby on. This girl says, I personally don't think I would allow either. Funnily enough, I was actually talking about wet nurses to my partner and how it showed status and wealth if you could have a wet nurse, but died down with the increase of formula milk. I do think you can donate your excess breast milk nowadays though. Yes, you can. Weirdly, I don't think you can sell it legally. Sorry, that is the patriarchy. Why not? Why not? Well, because men can't make money off it. Oh, it's a female dominated industry. If men were producing breast milk, best believe it'd be a multi-million pound industry. A girl says, I find it hard to watch others, including family members, holding my babies when they're born, let alone feeding them. This girl says, feels very weird to do this, so definite no from me. But if I was dying or my baby was dying or something mental, go for it. Yeah, obviously. I think that is a no-brainer for everyone that said absolutely not. Obviously, if I was literally dying or my baby was literally dying and the only way to save them, I'm assuming in extreme circumstances, it would be a no-brainer for everyone. This girl says it's very common in the Middle East. It takes a village. My hubby was breastfed by about 4 different ladies who are like a mum to him now. I personally wish I had that support. Not sure why it's so taboo when we have done it for centuries. I agree. I think we are very phobic of breastfeeding in this country, sort of mirrored in how we feel about other people breastfeeding our children. For us, that is like a very, very foreign, weird thing to do. But in lots of cultures, it's totally normal. No surprise, the society where the village is non-existent, we are phobic of this kind of thing. Surprise, surprise! I really feel like I wouldn't mind someone else breastfeeding my child. It's never happened, but we are obviously assuming that there is a reason for me not breastfeeding my child. It's not like I'm just like making a cup of tea and my child is screaming and I'm like, do you mind, babe? Do you mind? I can't really be asked right now. Do you mind taking this one? While I make myself a cup of tea and sit on my bum. Like, that's not the reason here. The reason is either I've not pumped enough while my friend is watching my baby, or I'm out and someone that I love is looking after my baby and my baby can't be settled. They're screaming, they're teething or whatever. The usual methods of comforting my baby are not working. Yeah, please breastfeed my child. Like, duh, that is a no-brainer to me. I don't know, I just find it weird how weirded out we are by other people. But even then, you know, in other cultures where it's more common for other people to breastfeed our children, for me, I'm saying, yeah, obviously in extreme circumstances, of course, like, you know, if my baby's distressed, but maybe it is normal to be sat around with other women, and if the mum is in the kitchen cooking, for my friend to just pop my baby on her boob if she needs it. Like, maybe that's normal. I don't know. But I can't really imagine a world in which I wouldn't just want to like sit down on my ass and feed my baby. Like, someone else take over the cooking. I was speaking to someone the other day about hosting for Christmas. She was basically saying how she was hosting all these people at hers for Christmas, and she was also breastfeeding her newborn baby. And someone came up to her and they were like, oh, it's such a shame you didn't bottle feed. It's such a shame you're breastfeeding still, because we could have helped you out while you were cooking. We could have fed the baby. It's like, how about you help out with the cooking while I sit down? Like, it's not help you feeding my baby a bottle while I do all the work is not helping me out. That's not what I need right now. I need to sit on my bum and someone to make me a cup of tea while you do the roast potatoes. All right, Jerry? So yeah, in conclusion, I would absolutely let someone I love breastfeed my child. I think it's such a beautiful way to support, to feel supported in that community in moments that you need it. So would I let someone breastfeed my child? Absolutely. Is that weird? Let me know. Another question, is it too early to bring the pumpkins out? I've got a couple pumpkins up in my attic, and what's the date? It's the 17th, it's the 18th of September as I'm recording this. So I'm assuming it'll be the next week after. Is it too early yet? Am I able to bring out the pumpkins, or is it embarrassing? They're not spooky Halloween pumpkins. They're just like ceramic light up pumpkins that you put on your table. I have had my autumnal wreath hanging up since the 1st of September, but for some reason it feels a little bit embarrassing to bring the pumpkin merch out now. I was never one of those girls that was that asked about the seasons, but as I've gotten older, it feels like a nice thing to do to mark the passing of time with tacky bits of rubbish dotted around my house, you know, that I've spent too much money on and I actually store in the attic for the majority of the year, but bring down just for a month or two. So far, the only things I have invested in are wreaths and the pumpkins. I've got a nice Christmas wreath, I've got my autumnal wreath, and I've got my 3 little pumpkins. Over the years, I do intend on spending too much money on seasonal gear, seasonal tea towels, seasonal mugs, fun, bed sheets, hello. Other things I intend on investing money in too are tablecloths. Seasonal tablecloths. You have a laugh. That's so cute. Changing out that tablecloth. I don't own a single tablecloth, but I just imagine the feeling of changing out that tablecloth every 3 months or so would be a really nice feeling. Wall hangings. I've got this beautiful orange wall and I really would like seasonal wall hangings. Is that tacky? Perhaps a little, but I just feel like now that in my 30s, I can justify it, you know? I think I would like one more wreath, just one more wreath to add to my collection, like a spring summer wreath. And then my wreath collection is complete. Why else do I have an attic? It's the bin above my house that I can keep seasonal bits of rubbish in, and tacky matching mugs for Christmas. That one that says, I've been naughty and I've been nice. I wonder what other tacky Christmas mugs there are. Oh, let's have a look at some, shall we? Oh, this one's good. Be naughty, save Santa the trip. Oh, this is fun. Like you have Mama Elf, Daddy Elf, Baby Elf. Oh my God, I'm actually going to poo my pants. I really need a poo. What do? Oh, the baby's pushing on my poo. Oh, this one's good. It's a pink mug that says, just so we're clear, the Grinch never really hated Christmas. He hated people, which is fair. Oh, I bet that's a B&M classic. And on that note, guys, it's time for Mom Wins. This is the point in the episode where I discuss one win and one loss that I've had this week. Let's get into the win, shall we? Now, this might be a totally normal thing for other adults. It probably is, but for me, it's a phenomenon. It's a feminine-omenon. I did my first Amazon return the other day. Usually, if something that I buy off Amazon is rubbish, I just take the hit and it goes in the bin. Sorry, that is so bad. But this time I actually thought, no, I refuse to not get my money back for this item because it was so crud. I need to tell you about this return system just in case people don't know. I'm sure everyone knows. For some reason, I just thought Amazon returns were like a real faff. No, it's not. I don't know if this is a new system or if this is just my local system, but I went on the return section. And they're like, okay, what's your reason for returns? And I said it. They're like, okay, cool. Just take it to your local Asda. You don't even need to package it up. What? I don't need to package it up. They're like, no, just take the thing out of its packaging loose and then give it to someone. And I turned up with these, it was face masks, children's face masks that I bought for Woody's party. And I turned up with these loose face masks and I was like, apparently I don't need any packaging for it. And she was like, no, give it here. She packaged it up for me. I showed her my QR code and then I was off. And then I'm expecting £17 in my bank account this week. Sorry, what? Does everyone know about this? Probably. But for me, I felt very adult and I felt very accomplished actually returning something. This is a turning point in my adult life. I feel like I'm the kind of person that returns things now, gets refunds for things, you know? Wow, I'm really in my 30s. What's my loss? Oh my gosh, this is bad. My loss this week was the fact that I wasted four chicken breasts. Any other budgeting girlies, like you will know how painful throwing away 4 fat chicken breasts is. Like that's about 16 to 20 pounds worth of chicken. I feel guilty buying meat, but then I think, well, at least I'm appreciating this chicken. I'm putting it to good use. But no, that chicken literally died for nothing because it's in the bin. Now, when I say this chicken was actually well within the date, but I'd opened it and I'd used one out of the 5 chicken breasts in a meal. And I thought, okay, cool, I'll use the others in a couple of days. But when I say I could smell this chicken from outside the house, like this chicken was so stanky. And I was in denial for ages that it was the chicken because the date was fine. And I said to Zach, it's not the chicken. Zach was like, it's that chicken. And I said, it's not the chicken. It's not the chicken. The chicken is within the date. And I was so close to cooking this chicken up. But apparently that's a really good way to like kill your entire family. So I decided against it. My life is worth more than £16 at this point. So maybe that should be my win, actually. The fact that I didn't kill my entire family. Should we get into some dilemmas, mummies? Let's go. I'm considering a divorce. But does that make me a failure? Now, last week, I felt like there was some really hard-hitting issues going on with you guys. And this week is no different. Are you coming to me to ask whether you should do it or not? That feels like a big responsibility. Because if you get divorced and then you regret it, or your child's scarred for life and it's all down to me. I've been with my partner for 6 years. 3 of those years we've been parenting. Pre our son arriving, it was a great relationship. We had our ups and downs, but overall we got on well and his flaws didn't drive me up the wall. But since having his child, I cannot stand him. It's like putting a magnifying glass up and suddenly I see him in a whole new light. Everything he does pees me off. Now our child is 3 and I feel like I'm at a crossroads. I want another child, but do I want to stay in this marriage? Do I want another child with this man? But do I want another child with a different man altogether? That sounds like it's going to come with its own challenges. Basically, he works away a lot on oil rigs, which means the majority of the parenting falls on me. And that would be fine if when he was here, I felt like he was a present, active participant in our lives. It's like he's off work, he thinks he's on holiday, but I'm still on job. My life doesn't just suddenly relax because you've got 2 weeks off. I work full time, I care for the pets and the house, I look after our son, all while he is away, which I know isn't easy for him all the time. He works hard, but not as hard as me. I just wish he'd come home with the mindset of, oh great, I get to give my wife a break, instead of, great, it's time I had a break. Is that too much to ask? I'm mentally and physically tired. I don't have anything to give this relationship anymore. He tries to be funny, but because I hate him, I just find his jokes irritating and actually a bit cringe. I also am ready for another baby. This is my issue. My options right now feel like A, divorce him and become a single mum, or B, have another baby with him and just commit to this marriage and try somehow to work through these issues again. By the way, we have had conversations about my issues and nothing's changed. He can keep up the improvements for a week at most and then goes back to his lazy ways. This isn't a new issue that hasn't been communicated. It's a long-standing problem that just isn't going away. Sorry for the long rant, but what do I do? Oh Lord. Some people might disagree. I'm liking the sound of option A. Hear me out. Till death do us part. well, this relationship sounds pretty dead to me. It's not like you haven't given it a go. You've given it a bloody good go. And like you said, you've raised these issues. You've tried to work it out. Nothing's been changed. So now what? You can't just flog a dead horse, you know? And it feels like you're flogging a dead horse right now. You literally hate this man. And that, by the way, is, all while not spending much time with him. But you hate him. Distance should make the heart grow fonder, unless maybe it's just the wrong guy. And I can imagine when he's away, you're kind of like in flow with your routine with your son and the pets in the house. And then he comes back and you're looking forward to the load being lighter. You're hopeful every time he comes back that the load's going to be lighter. But actually what happens is you've just got an extra person to look after. You've got another mouth to feed. You've got more laundry to do. Like, that would drive me up the freaking wall. And especially because he's probably coming in, he's looking forward to like being the fun dad, I'm just assuming this, but I think back to going to my dad's for the weekend. We wouldn't go every weekend, but when we would, dad's like MO is kind of trying to be the fun one, isn't it? Like, mum's the one with stinky lame rules, but like no rules when dad's in town. Then we would go back to my parents and act like brats. And then my parents would be like, awesome, great. Like, we'll just deal with these crazy kids for a few days while you just like regulate yourselves again. I can imagine your husband or your partner is coming in with that energy. Like, he wants to like, no rules. Like, let's eat ice cream for breakfast and stay up late. And actually, like, it's just messing up. It's messing up your routine. And in terms of being a single mom and how that's going to actually impact your life, like, sorry, obviously, apart from the financial contribution that his wage is bringing, apart from that, like, you're pretty much doing it on your own. Zach, for instance, my partner, who's constantly at home, he's very present with my son. And so it would make a huge impact if Zach was suddenly to move out and Woody would only see him on the weekends or every other weekend or whatever. But actually, in terms of how it's going to affect your son's day-to-day life, it's not going to affect him that much. And I'd assume, I don't know how often your partner would be coming back from the oil rigs. Is that what you said? How often do they come back? Every month? Every other month? I don't know. It would just be a case of like you figuring out how to co-parent and him getting his hours in when he is here. I think you will be surprised at how light you feel when you like cut off a little bit of dead wood from your life. I think you'll be surprised at what a positive impact that's going to make on you, because right now you have this expectation of what he should be like and he's not able to meet those expectations. So you resent him for it every time he's in the house. In my opinion, and people might disagree, but I always think it's much better for children to grow up around two parents that are happily separated rather than unhappily together. I also think it's really good for a child to see the mum choose her happiness. All seen couples who have stayed together for the kids, and it's like, it's turned poisonous. Once they do divorce, everyone's just like, oh, why did we not do that sooner? We should have done that ages ago. This is so much better. I can't understand your worry about the whole having another baby situation though. Like, if me and Zach were not pregnant right now and we'd broken up and I was ready to have another baby, that would definitely be on my mind. Like, how will having another baby with another man affect my original child? But one thing I will say is, like, just because you're ready and you do want it doesn't mean it has to happen quickly. Right? It might take 3, 4, 5 years for you to find someone, settle down and feel genuinely ready to have another baby. By then, your child is going to be a completely different child. You're going to be a completely different person. Your circumstances would have changed. So just because you're ready doesn't mean that you need to do it now. Whatever relationship standards you set for your child, they are going to then repeat in their adult life. So yeah, you could stick to this guy that you're not really happy with, or you could put your happiness first and eventually find someone that you are happy with. What is easier to heal from, a divorce or growing up with unhappy parents or a toxic relationship? One thing I would say is you could commit to this marriage, like you said, and have another baby with him, and actually you're just sort of delaying the inevitable. Is this man going to change? Probably not. Like you said, you have tried. Unless you want to go to therapy and mediation sessions and all of that, then maybe there could be a change. Maybe we do that before we consider divorce. You said it yourself, you hate him. I just think you're avoiding doing what you need to do. I don't know, mum friends. What do you think? Next. This next dilemma is very relatable. I think we've all been there, and it's a conversation that we hear regularly. When is the right time? Is there a right time, or should I just have a baby? Me and my partner are trying to work out when we should have a baby. He seems to think there is no right time, so let's just start trying. Oh yeah, that's all right for you to say, Mr. 3-pump Paul. Just sit there and watch my girlfriend grow the baby, birth the baby, and sit on mat leave for a year while nothing changes for you. Mr. I'll be back at work 2 weeks later. There's no right time for you. Sure. Maybe there's a right time for me though. A few of my friends say the same thing, but I can't help but think there is a right time and it's not now. I don't know why I feel that way though. I'm in a great relationship with the man of my dreams. He's loyal, kind and caring. Currently living in Manchester with family not too far away, and my friends have babies, etc. Okay, cool. So you've got like the support network around you. I can't put my finger on why I don't think the time is now. Thoughts? Yeah. People like to say there is no right time. There's no right time. People say it all the time. Well, actually, there is a right time. And I would say that right time is when the birthing woman is ready. You know, maybe for men, there's no right time. But for you, I would say your life is about to change exponentially. And there is absolutely a right time for that. Don't let anyone rush you into having a child. I just feel like there's stuff that you want to do. You need to get your ducks in a row and do the stuff that you want to do before you have a child. And listen, I'm not saying you can't do those things once you have a baby. Of course you can, but it just makes those things a little more stressful. You know that meme that's like on where you see reels and it's like parents that are saying, you know, who says you can't travel once you have kids? Of course you can. It just makes it shit. Like, it is true. Speak to any parent after they come back from a holiday with their children. They're not well rested. They will say the same thing. Oh my God, it was amazing. It was beautiful. So we had such a good time. So great to see the kids having so much fun. Not a holiday. Not a holiday for me, but the kids had an amazing time. You know, I did Glasgow with my kid. Was it amazing? Of course it was. Was it as good as it normally was? No, it wasn't. I actually came back like well rested from Glastonbury. It was like a retreat. It's like a camping holiday. But you know, that's not necessarily how I like to come back with my brain in tatters because I've partied so hard. I'm a Shangri-La until 7 a.m. kind of girl. Will I take my child to Glastonbury again? Absolutely. Why? Because once you become a parent, I think you do just prefer prioritizing experiences for the child over your own enjoyment. And it's a weird chemical thing that like you can't necessarily explain, but I would rather give my child these enriching experiences of going on holidays and going to festivals and stuff like that. I would prioritize their enjoyment over my own enjoyment. These fun things that you like doing before, holidays, events, festivals, whatever, they just take more negotiating. Even if you don't take your child with you, but you still have to negotiate the child. What do we do with the child when we go and do these things? Do you have the support network where you can go and do these things that someone can watch your child? Do you have the funds to do them now that you're maybe not working full time, you're working flexible hours or part time or whatever, you know, or you're paying for nursery while you work? Like, can you physically afford to do all these fun things while you're also a parent is another thing to consider. Taking Woody out the country and doing these fun things with him. I say, you know, it's not as fun as it was. Obviously, it's still fun. I'm still having a good time. But it's just the added layer of hard. It's like a hardness to the enjoyment as well, which you just don't need to, you haven't worried about yet as like a single person. I do wish that someone had encouraged me before having children to just spend the year just like doing all the fun things that I love to do. Not that I didn't have time to do them in my early 20s, but I think I went from like not wanting kids to wanting kids, and then bam, the next week I was pregnant, right? And so I didn't necessarily have that soft launch of like, oh yeah, I think we want kids in the next year, so we're going to spend the next year just like having loads of fun, doing all the stuff that we want to do before our life gets serious and we have these actual responsibilities and we're tied down. So I think it's really good to, if you are kind of on the fence right now, you don't know if you're ready, cool, take the next year to just do all the shit, all the fun stuff that you want to do. I just worry that like you being on the fence going into having a child will make you resent your partner and resent parenthood way more than the average person. because it's already hard enough. You don't want to then be on the fence of the whole experience. There's no being on the fence in parenthood. Like, you're either in or you're out. And once you're in, you can't get out. Like, it is forever. I remember realizing that once I had my son in my arms after I given birth. I was like, whoa, like, he's not going anywhere forever. Like, he is here forever. And that is beautiful. But if I wasn't ready for that, it might have been a little bit scary. This is where like the imbalance for men and women sort of comes into play, and you're going to experience it for the first time, because you have to consider these things. You know, does your job even support you in motherhood? What's the maternity situation like? Are you aware of it? Probably not. Unless you've spoken to other mothers in the office. It's not like you can say in your job interview, like, oh, what's the maternity situation? You should be totally allowed to say that, but no one ever does, because they're worried that they're going to be penalized for it, or they won't get the job because they think, well, I'm just going to get the job and then I'll get pregnant straight away, which is not the case. But it should be a legal requirement when they state the pay to also, you shouldn't have to ask about the maternity situation in your job, right? But the amount of girls that I know that I ask them, like, what's your maternity situation in your job? And they're like, I don't know. Well, why was that not discussed? How do you know that you can afford to even have a baby right now? My friend didn't find out her maternity situation until she got pregnant. Well, then it's too late. It's not like I can go and get another job that's going to give me a better maternity pay. Like, I just have to sort of hope for the best. It's very backwards. But again, this is something that your partner hasn't had to consider, but you do have to consider. So yeah, these are the conversations that you can start having with your partner. And soon he's going to realize that actually there is a right time to have a baby, and maybe it's not now. Sorry, this is meant to be like a funny podcast. That was such boring auntie advice, wasn't it? How boring. How can I make that funny? I got nothing. You know why? Because these big life decisions are no laughing matter. And that is all the dilemmas that we have today, guys. It is time for Happy News of the Week, where I share a little bit of positive news to brighten your day. Oh, okay. We love to see it, guys. Rugby team carries wheelchair-bound dad up Snowdon Peak, fulfilling his lifelong dream. Members of the Bangor Rugby Club helped Phil Thompson to the Welsh mountains earlier this month. The 66-year-old has always wanted to reach the top of Snowdon, but thought it would be impossible after a motorbike accident at 19. Each member of the team helped carry Phil up Snowdon until they reached the peak over 3 hours later. Oh, who'd have thought? Rugby boys being nice. If these same men could offer to take President Trump up to the top of the Snowdon and just like chuck him off the edge, that would really bring a tear to my eye. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you would like to support this podcast directly, then you can do so by following the link in the description of this podcast to my Buy Me a Coffee page. You can donate the price of a coffee or more. And if you have not rated or reviewed this podcast, please go ahead and do that right now. We get hundreds of listens, but I've only had 224 rates, which is outrageous. Just give it 5 stars whether you like it or not. And I will see you next week for another episode. I love you. Goodbye. Mwah.